What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sloth Fab Garage. It is a cold March afternoon. We got some snow coming, so I'm going to try to make this one fast, but we are going to see if we can throw in these Airlinks for the Grand Cherokee. I don't know how this process is going to go from everything I've been reading. It's a pretty quick process. Don't know, haven't really looked at it, but we're going to give it a shot.
Use your sock down. There you go. There you go.
First thing I'm going to do is crawl underneath there and see if I can pop one of them out. We're going to start in the back since I want to bring the back down more than the front anyway. So we'll see if we can pop one link off. I think we're just supposed to do one at a time and pull that out, compare it to the ones that we've got here on the table, and make our adjustments to however much height difference we want and go from there. All right, I am looking at the back passenger corner here. We've got a shock, we've got an airbag tucked in there. This is our sway bar link, and if you look way forward up there, that is our air link. So I think we're just going to try to we'll go around the side. I think we might have a little bit more room there, maybe. Let's see what we're looking at. There we go. There's our little link right there. I am not entirely sure how these pop on and off. It does not appear, let's see if I can rotate my camera around in here. It does not appear as though there are any clips. So, not entirely sure how to go about this. Is it just a ball? It is just a ball. Really that simple. That was phenomenal. See if I can pop this one off without breaking anything. This upper arm here is plastic, so I want to be a little bit careful. I was able to just kind of roll that, get that off. That was all of 10 seconds and a screwdriver. Very nice. All right, here is our factory link and the new link. You can see that the new link is shorter for the back. The long ones are for the front, short ones are for the back. Now I am looking here for the rear. The lower links need to be shorter. So whatever we go down is how much we're going to go down. Center to center, looks like we are about 3 inches on that factory link. And on the new link, looks like we're dropping about 3/8 of an inch. I'd like to go a little bit more than that. I'd like to be, I think we're going to start with almost an inch. Well, no more than 3 full turns. You know what? We're gonna leave it like this, and we're gonna see. I am wondering My guess is that it's not a direct correlation. I don't think an inch shorter of link is necessarily going to mean an inch shorter of ride height. So I think we're going to throw this in at 3/8 and see where it's sitting. If it makes a big difference, great. If not, then we can certainly adjust them. My guess is it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, and these are simple enough to get on and off. So we're going to throw this in just as it is. They're both set identical. Both of the factory ones are set identical right now. So we're going to throw those in, start the Jeep up, let everything adjust itself, and then go from there. All right, initial startup. Got in, started the Jeep, and immediately felt the back go down. No lights, no nothing, just straight up dropped the back. And I measured, it dropped it 1 inch and 3/8, I think. Went from 5/8 to quarter. Yeah, we went 1 inch and 3/8. So I'm glad I didn't adjust those anymore. I'm sure part of that is just how I'm sitting on an uneven driveway here. So I'm thinking about 1.5 inches is what it's going to end up netting. I believe the description for those actually said 1.5 inches. So I might take that back down another 1/2 inch and then drop the front maybe 3/4 or something like that. I don't need it super low. I just wanted it to look a little extra low. Still needs to be drivable, obviously, but yeah, I will I'll get those pictures up, throw them in here, and then at some point I will swap out the links for the front. We'll probably, hopefully, do that tomorrow if it's a little bit warmer, or if there is maybe the day after if we're supposed to get snow tonight. But for right now, we're gonna call it for today, and then we'll be back at it when it's better weather. Well, it is cold and gross out, but I remembered that I don't have anything in the shop right now, so we brought this on in here, and we're gonna get these front links swapped out. Now, I don't want to lower the front as much as I lowered the back. Right now we are in off-road 1, so it's a little higher than normal drive down the road height, and that's pretty close to about normal drive down the road height. So I believe each stage from your standard driving to off-road 1 is 1.3 inches, I think, and then another 1.3 inches to off-road 2. I'm never going to use those, and I have driven it in off-road 2, even at slow speeds. It is horrendous. So not really super concerned about losing that extra height. If I wanted to, I could always put the factory links back in. It does not take any time, as we've seen. So I don't want to bring the front down as much as the back. I want to bring it down half that, so we do lose a little bit of that rake, make it sit a little bit more level. Now, with these back links, they were 3/8 of an inch difference in length, and we gained 1.5 inches, which means each 1/8 inch equates to about 1/2 inch. If that's the same for the front, we'll just make an adjustment on the links and go from there. But in order to do that, we're gonna have to pull those front links out first. So let's go grab those. These ones are actually even easier to get to. If you were all the way down, you'd never be able to get to these, but up in off-road 1, they're super easy to get to. You could probably go up to off-road 2 to give yourself a little bit more room if you're looking to do that, but right here, that is our link. I'll go ahead and see if I can pop the top. There's the top, and then roll this bottom one off, and then we're having some adjustment here. Okay. Yep, we are going to throw this back in location, let everything readjust, and then looks like we're gonna have to put this in tire jack mode for this one. For the backs, it didn't seem like we had an issue with that, but for the fronts, just for sake of not having to fight this while we do it, we are going to put this in tire jack mode. So in order to do that, we're going to go to controls, settings, there we go, settings, down, suspension, tire jack mode, right there. Okay, now what that means is that, shut that off. What that means is that the vehicle is not going to try to self-level when the links are removed. So in the case of what it's actually designed for, if you go to lift one corner to take a wheel off to change your tire, it would try to self-level the vehicle and be fighting you the entire time. So hopefully we should have a similar effect with this, where it's not going to be trying to fight. Let's see if we've made any kind of difference. Okay, lovely. It does appear that that has solved this. Okay, that is one link off. All right, now for the fronts, we're looking at opposite of the back. So the backs need to be shorter in order to get the Jeep lower. The fronts need to be longer to get the Jeep lower. So we're going to take our measurement on this one at first. So we're going to start right at the 1 inch mark. Center to center. So we are at 1, 2, 3, 4 and 3/8. Center to center. 4 and 3/8. Now this one, we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5/8. So that is 2/8 of an inch difference, which tells me that would be about an inch if the adjustment is the same. I think we're gonna make this one twist shorter, so I'm gonna break one of these ends free and do one full rotation on one end just to make it just a little bit shorter so we don't have quite as much lowering going on in the front. All right, the first piece is way up in there. We're gonna do the bottom one first, just because it's a softer piece, that plastic, and I don't want to be reefing on that. So if we can get the bottom one, there we go, that went on really nice. Then I can kind of push a little more heavily on the top one if needed, but that went in very well. Getting these little clips in is going to be a bit of a challenge. I'm not even sure. Let's see. Alright, that was a major pain in the butt, and I'm sorry for the blinding lights on there, but that's what it took for me to be able to see what I was doing. These little pins are by far the hardest part of this process. It's easier to get the lower one in with the top one disconnected, so pull the top one off, put the pin in for the bottom one, throw the top one back on the ball, and then push that pin through. So now that that's done, we're gonna adjust the other link and then go ahead and jump over to the other side and do that one. Alright, I've got a little bit of a problem here with the last one. These little clips that go in only have an option to go in on one side of the ball. But nice if they would have the option to put them on either side, because sometimes they are in a very inconvenient location. And that's the case here. I'm really not sure how I'm going to get to that one. I may have to actually take the tire off in order to get there. I might be able to sneak underneath and reach up there and get it. A really fine needle nose might get me there, which my needle nose is MIA at the moment. Oh, there it is. So maybe I might get lucky with a very long, thin needle nose. but I'm kind of thinking not. I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna have to take the tire off so that I can get in there kind of from the back of it, and because I have to get to the back of that upper ball in order to thread a little pin through, and I can't see myself getting there. Maybe if I lay underneath and reach up, we'll see. Otherwise, we'll be taking this tire off. Alright, after looking at it, I think the easiest way was to just pop the wheel and tire off. I tried reaching up from the underside and I have no better ability to do that. So we pop that off. Now you can actually kind of get in here, work around, and we can fold this back. So I think I can get my hands around there now and actually get on there. Alright, I was kind of not thinking when I did this. It was essentially the same operation as the other side. Put the top on first, get the one on the back, and then put the bottom one on, so reversed of the other side. I think you could probably do it with the tire on there if you did it that way, but taking the tire off certainly did give me a lot more room to get up in here, because this is a pretty rough spot to get to with fighting around everything. So they are now on. We're going to throw the tire back on and see what we ended up with for adjustment. Okay, everything is in and we are all the way down now. It did end up going about 1.5 inches, even though I did adjust those. So for right now, I'm just gonna leave it and drive it a little bit, let everything kind of adjust. I'm sure the system will have a tiny bit of adjustment to do yet, and if it becomes a problem or if I don't like the particular rake or stance on it, then I can adjust it more. But for right now, in park mode, it sits really flat. In standard and off-road 1, it also sits really flat. So I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, that's about it. Let's pull this thing outside and see what it looks like. Alright guys, you'll have to forgive me. When I made the rest of this video, I totally forgot to do the end of it. So the only thing that's really changed between then and now is we have spacers on the Jeep. Push those tires out a little bit. So other than that, I did not adjust the links at all. They are exactly the same as they were before. It sits very much where I like it, so I'm going to leave it there. And especially with the spacers, everything turned out really nice. So right now we are just in standard driving mode, and I will go ahead and drop that down to park, and then we'll take a look. And there you have it at park. Now I do believe I have pictures of during with just the back done. I know I have pictures of before any of it was done, and I obviously have lots of pictures now, and I believe I have pictures with just the back done. I will throw the comparisons in the video right here so you can see those different stages of what I've got. But other than that, this was a pretty simple install. Really easy to adjust in the future if I ever want to go up or down or back to stock or anything like that. Well worth $100, I think, in my opinion. I will obviously throw a link for those in the description. But other than that, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe. Catch you on the next one.